Hey there everyone, I'm Darieth Chisolm. Thanks for watching Hustle&Heart TV. I also want to give a huge thank you to each and every one of you for downloading and subscribing and writing reviews about the shows. I truly hope that you're enjoying them and that they are inspiring you. It really gives me great pleasure to be able to find interesting guests to interview them and then share with you their stories, their strategies, their topics and tips for success. So I do appreciate all the support that you've been showing to us. All right, on today's show, I get the opportunity to share with you a young man by the name of Rob Wilson. He's been dubbed as hip-hop's financial advisor. That's primarily because he advises several different celebrities, top athletes, hip-hop artists. He's their financial advisor. But what we talk about today is why it's so important to invest in yourself and invest in your business. Rob also happened to be the first interview that I did as part of my series of interviews for Hustle&Heart TV. And I'll never forget when he told me, Darieth, you've got to be willing to suck at first. You've got to be willing to make a lot of mistakes and just get out there and make it happen. And that has encouraged me every step of the way. I hope that today's interview will do the same for you. So get ready to enjoy Rob Wilson up next on Hustle&Heart TV. You're watching Hustle&Heart TV, a video podcast show that spotlights expert advice from top money earners, successful entrepreneurs, superstar network marketers, and leading authorities in business and marketing. I'm Darieth Chisolm. I'm inviting you into my home and I'm bridging my own personal success as an entrepreneur, MLMer, news anchor, and now video podcast show host to help you leverage more tools and resources, make more money, and generate more ways to take action, become a rock star, and love your journey.
Oh man, so first of all, first and foremost, I just enjoy and I love what I do. I'm a financial advisor and I help people really figure out how to build, grow, and then maintain their wealth. And I wanted to create my business in such a way that I wasn't a product salesman. And so when I first started out in the industry, I started out at Smith Barney, which was great. They trained me well and I learned a lot. But what I found is that when you work at those big wirehouses, you're really paid to be a financial salesperson. Go and schlep some mutual funds at somebody and then move on to the next person. I got into this business to really be an advisor, to provide advice, unbiased, not about a product, but what was in the best interest of the client. And so I had a great opportunity after I was at Smith Barney for a few years to leave and start a business with a partner that I had met at Smith Barney. We worked together for a number of years. Working with a lot of professional athletes and helping them manage, their wealth. And then I recently just decided to leave that firm, go completely on my own, launched a podcast, working with unique individuals. And so I'm just blessed that I get to do and get up and enjoy what I do every day. You know what? I do think that you are born with certain traits and certain things that you're good at and certain things that you gravitate to. I think I've always been interested in helping other people for one reason or another. And that may come from the fact that, when I was growing up, my mother had multiple sclerosis. And I had to grow up and become mature at a very early age. And so I think perhaps from, taking care of her as I was growing up in her time of need, maybe something developed in me where I just wanted to, help other people. I had a funny story when I was really young and I was in elementary school. And I wasn't the most in shape little kid. I probably had some baby fat that I could have stood to lose. But I came up with this idea and I said, hey, Mom, I think that there should be an exercise show for kids, right? So this is coming from me, eating corn chips, but, wanting to start an exercise show for kids. And she said, okay, well, if you want to do that, let's see how you can do it. And so I wrote a letter to the local PBS station here and said, hey, I'd like to start this show. And they politely wrote me a letter back and said, thanks, but no thanks. But that's something that I want to do. And I bring up that story when I speak to people now, because if I was that same kid today and I went to my mom and I said, hey, I want to start this exercise show for kids, I wouldn't need the PBS station's permission to do that anymore. I'd literally have to do nothing else than take my mother's phone out of her pocket, which has an HD video camera in it, run around for a little bit for 20 minutes on video, upload it to YouTube, and literally in 20 minutes, that show could be available to anyone in the world with an internet connection. That is mind blowing to me. And so I think we're in a fantastic period of existence, and I'm trying to take advantage of it as much as I can. So you have to create something of value, right? So a lot of people want to put the camera on themselves because they just want to see themselves out there on the internet and rack up views or followers and all that sort of thing. And that was never really important to me. First, when I got the opportunity to be on some local news shows here, and thankfully you were one person who gave me my very first start, and I was probably horrible. And I go back and look at it, I cringe a little bit, but you got to start somewhere, right? You have to start somewhere. So for me, those opportunities were more about building authority and showing that, being able to showcase my knowledge in those situations. And by being on a news program, that's sort of an inherent endorsement to your skills and your knowledge. But eventually you've got to create something of value. So whether it's a product or a service, because listen, no matter how many followers, friends, how many views you have, nobody cares about you, really. People don't care. The only thing they care about right now is if you can help them. And it really doesn't matter all of those other things that you have. If they find you and they feel like you have something that can help them get what they want, then you're 95% done at that point. And in general, I think that careers are largely gone. I think everybody is their own business right now. Regardless if you sort of work and you get a paycheck from somebody else, you're still your own business, in my opinion. And if you're going to run your own business, you've got to be comfortable selling. And so a lot of people feel like the word sell is a 4-letter word. And I get that, because you don't get taught how to sell when you're, coming up in high school or any kind of schooling like that. You go through school in order to become a good employee. That's the model that we have here, at least in this country, right? And so it's hard work to try to deprogram something that's been programmed into you for 18, 20 years, okay? But sell is not a 4-letter word. If you're working for an employer, you've got to sell yourself. If you work in MLM or if you have your own business, you've got to be able to sell products. But I put it to people like this. I tell, again, a little story where if you were driving down the highway and you saw one of your good friends pulled over on the side of the highway with their hood up and the car smoking and all this kind of stuff, I ask people, would you stop and would you help them? Most people will say yes. I'd stop, I'd go. Why? Because she needs help. And my car's running okay, and I've got something that she needs, I can help. And so then I say, well, if you've got a product or a service that you think that can help somebody, why would you not offer it to them? Why do you feel funny or weird or you feel a little subconscious about offering something of value that can help someone? I feel like if you have something of value to offer someone and you don't offer it to them, that's pretty selfish of you. And so I'll take it even a step further, that if you're not comfortable with selling, then you probably don't believe in your product or your service enough, because I really feel like you've got to have the tact that whatever you're selling, you almost have to feel like you have the cure for cancer. Because if you have the cure for cancer, you have no problem going out and offering that to people. And so if you can't sell with that type of conviction, you probably need to develop another product or service or get into a different business.
I believe that a person's bank account or their net worth really has a lot to do with their belief level. Would you say that's the case, that most people can earn a significant income when they start to believe that they can?
You just have to have more activity. You just have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again, and eventually you'll get better at it. And the fact that you keep doing it over and over again, you're going to be better than 90% of the other people, because they're going to quit and they won't even be there anymore. I started with a lot of people as a financial advisor almost 10 years ago. A lot of those people are not in this industry anymore, okay? Because it's difficult and it takes time. It doesn't go up like a hockey stick. That the best investment that you could ever make is in yourself. I mean, because the returns on that are infinite, right? You don't have to pay for yourself. You're already there. And so the returns are fantastic. So anything that you hope to grow or build, you've got to put money into it. You've got to spend money on equipment. You've got to spend money getting trained on whatever it is. If you don't think you're a good salesman, go take a course. Go have somebody train you. Go get a mentor that you might have to pay And that's okay, but get something that's going to take you to the next level. And so if you're not willing to invest in yourself, why would anybody else invest in you by buying your product or service if you're not willing to make your product, your service, the very best? I recently just launched a podcast in iTunes, and it was one of those things. Again, wasn't really sure how it was going to go, whether I was the best at it, but it was on my mind for so long that I said, you know what, I just got to launch it. Whatever happens, happens. I'll get better over time, and then we'll just go with it. So the beginning of this year, I said, let's just go. So over time, I've added a better camera. I've got a better mic. I ordered some nicer lights. And so eventually the production quality gets better. I had a friend of mine send me an email on LinkedIn and said, hey, I'm enjoying the podcast, great information. And I appreciate that the sound quality has gotten a little bit better from the first one to now, which is a totally, I took that as a compliment because I am actively trying to get better. There's something that you have got to be willing to suck at the beginning. And that's just it. And you've got to let go of your ego, and you got to know that stuff is going to be out there forever for people to listen to or see. The CEO of LinkedIn says if you're the first product that you put out, if it's not bad, if you're not embarrassed about it, you probably waited too long to launch it. Okay? So be willing to be bad, but get better, learn from your mistakes, and eventually it's gonna come to you.
If you're not showing up online in videos promoting your business, product, or service, you are truly missing out. I'm Darieth Chisolm, and I'm here to tell you video marketing is huge. YouTube is one of the largest search engines, and people turn up there by the seconds looking for how-to videos, advice, products, and services. And there are so many ways to make money with online videos. Video podcast, online video courses and products, a YouTube channel, video blogs, live events, webinars, telesummits, Google Hangouts, and more. Not to mention you increase brand awareness, build authority, and increase loyalty. I know, but right now you're probably thinking, there's no way I can show up online making videos and marketing them. Yes, you can, and I'm here to help. Sign up for my newsletter and get instant access to tools, resources, advice, and information. Plus, you'll get my free checklist and 5 things to do before you hit the record button. And you can get all of this information and more at my website at howtomakemoneywithvideos.com.
Do you dread going to work every day, stuck in a dead-end job? Hi, I'm Daryl Warden of the Miles Group. I love my career, and you can too. We're looking for people who like to go to work, have a great time, take control of their schedules, and take charge of their lives.
I worked in food service, and I never knew that I could be happy, help people, and make great money.
We will train you, help you get your license. If you want to work amongst friends and make great money, call Team Warden at the Miles Group.
What do you tell people about fear? I know we can go round and round about the fact that fear often holds people back, but how do you help people decide to put an end to the fear that's holding them back and move forward?
This is a great question because I do just coach people as well. And so when you figure out why people aren't doing what they said that they wanted to do, it often does come down to fear. And if you probe enough, then they'll eventually tell you that they're afraid. But then I just ask them, what is it that you're afraid of? Are you going to be physically hurt by this? Is something going to happen to your family or the people that you care about? Is something going to irrevocably happen that's going to just drastically change your life for the worst? And when you ask them what they're really afraid of, you find out that a lot of what they fear doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If someone challenges you on your idea, so what? I mean, what difference does it really make? If something's not going to happen to your health or to the health and wellness and well-being of people that you care about, who cares for the most part? Now, there are some people that should be, afraid of failure, okay? I want my pilot or my airplane to be afraid of failure. I get it. You're a conductor on a train. Okay, got it. You should be afraid of failure because you got a lot of people's lives in your hands. But if you're trying to launch a business, a podcast, a video show, a blog, and you're afraid, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm above all this, right? Like I just went out there and boldly did it. It took me a while to get to that and just ask those questions. Am I going to be physically hurt? And if I'm not, let's just go do it and see what happens. If you can let go of all of that is just ego. When people say they have a fear of failure, what they really have is a fear of getting their feelings hurt. And so if you can let go of getting your feelings hurt, you can do amazing things.
And so why is it though then? I mean, because when you think about it, we grow up as adults and we start to say to ourselves, well, gee, I don't know why I'm letting this hold me back. Do we get more bogged down in our own fears as we get older? Because kids don't have a fear of failure, right? They'll go out and they'll just do anything. But I think adults, as we get older, we become more complacent and more apprehensive, and then we're less likely to stray.
So I got another term. And so when people have things that they want to do in life and it's not done yet, it's because they wait. They wait in the traditional sense of that they just procrastinate and they don't get to it. But they also wait is an acronym that I made up, and they ask themselves, who am I to? And so that's what creeps into your head. You ask yourself, well, who am I to launch this podcast on iTunes and be listened to in many different countries all over the world and rack up views and make money? You start to ask yourself, who am I to? Why do I deserve this? Why am I worthy of it? There must be something else about this person that has done this that they have that I don't have. And again, that's something you got to get out of your own way and realize, listen, that these people that you see that have been successful, I mean, they put their pants on, one leg at a time, just like you do. I mean, there's no superhero out there. And I think the fact that now the tools have been given to you largely for free for you to get content out there, make a difference, promote your business, sell products. There's just no excuse, for it. And again, you're not asking somebody to go and spend $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 trying to do something, and maybe it's not going to hurt. Maybe it's not going to work. You're saying put a little bit of money out there, start it, just see where it goes, and then build on it from there. There has never, ever in the history of the world been an easier or better time to start or launch a business. It's just the internet has leveled the playing field for everyone. And to not take advantage of that just because you feel like you might get your feelings hurt at some point is just, it's heartbreaking to me, because people just really aren't living the lives that they want to live.
What has you turned up? What is it right now that for you is really turning you up and making you excited?
Really similar to the things that I mentioned before, but I think that there's just this huge opportunity to reach out, to connect with people in any different medium. If you like to write, then you go start a blog and you drive traffic to it. If you want to be a TV star, you go start a YouTube channel. If you like audio, then you launch a podcast, and it could be instantly in anyone's pocket, across the world. Those things are extremely exciting to me, because here's the thing, when you start out as a financial advisor and they train you, it's really about working one-on-one with individuals, which is amazing, and I enjoy doing that, but there's a limit to that. I'm only one person. There are only so many hours in the day, in the week, or in the month. But now if I can create products and services that sort of encapsulate all of those questions that I get from everybody, that I go over again and again, if I can productize that and then offer it to more people, I can have such a greater impact on people's lives in the world. And that is an absolutely amazing feeling.
And what about personally? Some things that just have you turned up? I mean, what are things that, like, for you, just make you happy?
Well, I've found a great girl. I've never been married. I don't have any kids. I've really been focused on my career for a long time, but you can't just think about work and about business, all the time. And so to be able to find somebody that you can, share your life with, share your struggles and your failures with, and somebody that will help build you up and help you get over those times when you ask yourself, who am I to? I think that's very special.
That's great. Tell me about some failures that you've faced and or challenges that you've faced and overcome.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm sure we don't have enough time in your show to talk about all of these things. But, certainly I've failed as everybody. I mean, if I go back to high school, a little known fact is, when I was in high school, I used to rap a little bit. It was a little rap group. And we went out and we did a talent show, and the audio was all messed up, and we got booed, and it was horrible and embarrassing. And then, but I got up and we regrouped and dusted ourselves off, and We competed in the talent show again the next year, and then I don't know if we won, but we got a trophy. We came in someplace, and it was much better. And then I ran for student council vice president, and I lost, and that's embarrassing because I thought I was the coolest person out, and that everybody was just going to vote for me. But then I dusted myself off. I ran for president the next year, and then I won. When I was in college, I started a exterior home painting franchise that was, I was great at going out and selling the business, but actually getting out there and, getting on ladders and getting all those jobs done wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do. There's been so many things that I've tried and failed at, but every single time I learned something. A lot of those failures did nothing else but to help me build up a thicker skin and to help me get comfortable with failure and just the process of just learning and getting better and starting and applying those lessons to something else. So there's too many to name, but I think over time I've been able to get comfortable with that and let my ego go to some degree. Sure, I get embarrassed. I get hurt just like everybody else, but I think I've built up this muscle where I can bounce back a little bit faster and just move on, take what I need from that and go apply it to something else.
What about some aha moments, some things that just all of a sudden like struck you right upside the head and you're like, oh, geez, that's great.
So here's my philosophy on that. I hate to talk about aha moments because I think people feel like they're going to be sitting watching television one day and then something's just going to pop in their head, boom, and it's just going to happen. And it doesn't exactly work that way. I think you do get unique observations on things that take your life in one way or another. But for me, it wasn't necessarily one particular moment when I went, wow, this is awesome. It's been a process of continually trying to learn, trying to stay up on what the trends are, where things are going, where things are moving. I mean, I remember when I was in business school, I started talking about Netflix, and this was way before Netflix had ever launched a streaming service. But when I started to look at that, and I said it's got to go there. And so I bought some shares of the stock, and that's obviously helped me financially. But for me, it's more of a process. I don't like to think about things as an event like that, where the sky parted and the sun came out, and I just had this unique revelation. It's really a process of lifelong learning and being intuitive and being sensitive to the things that are around you so that you can recognize opportunities when they arise. When you see people who got killed in the 2008 recession, and now they're trying to figure out, how do I retool? Where do I go from here? I did something for 20 years and now my job is gone. It's because people, tended to get a little bit complacent, and they were in their job and they went there every day and they did well, but they weren't ready for when and if something happened to that job and it went away. And so I think if people concentrate on just being lifelong learners and being sensitive and always looking for the next thing, you'll find it, and you'll be able to synthesize all that information into a moment that will hopefully change your life.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Every day, Fast Signs helps businesses with their visual communications. We ask the right questions, which makes your facility safe and more efficient. We recommend smart solutions, and people get where they're going. We bring new ideas and help you build your business. Fast Signs offers more than signs and graphics. We're innovators, planners, and designers, and we're more than ready to help. For more information or to request a consultation, visit fastsigns.com.
All right, so who inspires you? Tell me who, current age, previous years, whatever, who inspires you?
So I think a lot of my work ethic, a lot of the things that I've been to accomplish came from my parents. As I mentioned before, my mother had multiple sclerosis. But yeah, she was one of the strongest people that I've ever met in dealing with that. And then, it progressively got worse over the years, from being in a cane to the walker to a wheelchair and eventually in a nursing home. But the way that she handled that and kept her spirit up, continued to support me, she did more for me probably in a nursing home than a lot of, parents may do for their kids, and they can get up and walk on their own 2 feet. And so it was that, and then my father's, work ethic, who, he worked for the Board of Education for 48 years, had multiple jobs, just got up and went to work so he could make sure that he could take care of his family. A lot of those things are, I can't separate those things from who I am. And so they inspire me, and they continue to inspire me. And I'll also say this, that there were some teachers that I had in elementary school that I still remember to this day who made me feel like I was smart. And they made me feel like big things were expected of me. Now, they could have been totally lying through their teeth. But if they were, I believed it. And that's really all that matters. And I promise you that still today, when I'm making decisions on maybe launching something or doing something, or what I should be doing, or why haven't I done something, I think about my parents and I think about them, because they made me feel like something was great, was expected of me, and I don't want to let them down.
Do leaders do that for people, or should leaders do that, or do great leaders do that? Do they make other people feel like you're expected to be, do, have something?
Absolutely. I think you have to inspire people. Listen, we all need external help and stimulation sometime, okay? Because you can't get out of your own way. You're in your head. Who am I to? I don't think I can do this. You need some reinforcement out there from somebody that you trust, that you know, that you respect, that you like, who says, I believe in you. I'm on the outside looking in, and I know that you can do this, and the only thing left is for you to take action. So I do believe that strong leaders, the best leaders, help other people become better versions of themselves.
And in fact, that is, I would, in my opinion, say is the definition of leadership, is that until you figure out what it means to inspire others to be leaders themselves, you're just another person pretending to be that.
No question. You can't lead by fear. If people are afraid of you or losing their job or something like that, you will never, ever get the best performance out of them if you're leading by fear. But if you empower people, and listen, you may have to build people up so much that they leave you, that they go off and they go on to bigger and better things. And I would say that if you're a leader, that's the best possible job that you could ever do, to build somebody up so well that they got to go somewhere else so that they can realize their dream, because you know that you will have gotten the absolute best that you could have gotten out of them while they were with you. If you spend your time focusing on how to live up to your potential, you'll never have to worry about living within your means, right? You hear financial advisors and people say, well, the key to it is just to live within your means. That's the worst, absolute worst financial advice I've ever heard in my life. Because who is somebody else to tell you what your means are? By saying that, you're inherently telling somebody, I don't think that you can do much better than that. So take what you have and just try to figure out how to be happy with that. I can't subscribe to that. Maybe one day that, in the past that was true. It's not true any longer. And I do find myself focusing now more on getting people to realize their potential. And a lot of times that is starting a business. I believe that business advice is the new personal finance. Okay. I'm not sitting here trying to tell people to go to Starbucks less, because that's going to help their, okay, maybe some people spend too much on some things. Perhaps you go to the mall too much and maybe you didn't need $1,000 bag or something like that. But for the most part, most people's problems financially is that they're not making enough money. That's it, period. That's most people's issue. And so I try to focus on, are you getting paid what you're worth at your job? No, why not? Either go ask for a raise or go somewhere else. And if either of those two things don't work, then you got to go start your own business. And I'll put it simply to you like this. And this is I try to break things down for people so they have no choice but to do that action, right? So if you want to make $100,000 in the United States, which I would suggest you could live a pretty nice life, that would put you in roughly the top 10% of wage earners in this country, okay? $100,000. If you tell that to somebody, they go, wow, how am I going to do that? I got to work on my resume and I maybe put a website up and I got to do this. And they're just overwhelmed. They don't know how to do it. But then if you break that down for them, you say, well, what's $100,000? Well, it's nothing more than 1,000 people paying you $100 for something. And then people go, well, Rob, there's 1,000 people. I don't know how many people. How am I going to do that? Okay, so it's 100 people paying you $1,000. Then they go, well, Rob, what am I going to sell for $1,000? That's a lot of money. What am I going to do for that? Well, $1,000 is $83 a month. And if you round that to $80 a month is $20 a week. So if you want to be in the top 10% of wage earners in this country, the United States, you have to do nothing else than figure out how to get 100 people to pay you $20 a week. Now, that's hard for people to argue against. Can you figure out something that you can sell for $20? And I don't care if you're going out and mowing somebody's lawn, whatever it might be, do that. If you can figure out 100 people to pay you $20 a week, you'll make more than 9 out of 10 of your friends. And between Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter and Pinterest and all of these other ways that you have to connect to people, I don't think trying to get 100 people is out of realms of most people's reach. The one thing that I do like about network marketing is that there's a blueprint there for you. And a lot of people, again, when they're trying to figure out how to be successful, they feel like they have to reinvent the wheel. And you don't. You don't have to come up with this grandiose next Google or next Facebook or something like that. There are plenty of models out there that you can follow that if you just stick to what the people who came before you tell you to do, it's going to be difficult for you not to be successful.
That is the one thing that as it relates to the concept of layered leadership that some people miss, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You follow the system, you put it on turbocharge, and you do what the others before you have done to become successful. And yet human nature is to muck it up.
Yeah, because people watch TV too much. And there's too many magazines. And so when you read the magazine, they got the one person on the cover who came up with some great idea. And that's fantastic. But what people don't realize what's going on around them every day, away from the camera and away from the magazine and away from TV and all this other kind of stuff, is that there are people who are just going about, they found a model, very simple model, whether it's opening up a franchise restaurant, whether it's MLM, whether it's having a barbershop or hair salon. They just follow the model. Sure, there are a ton of other barbershops and other things out there, but you have your own audience, your unique location or whatever it might be, and people are killing it in that way. But folks feel like they've got to have the spotlight shine on them because they came up with this great thing. And again, it's ego. It's wanting to be on the cover of the magazine, and it's not about that. It's what you do when nobody's looking that's really going to determine how successful you're ultimately going to be.
Give me some resources that you turn to, whether it's books, tapes, things that you might be using to advance your business. And think in terms of, again, MLM, network marketing. I mean, just the things that you might encourage people to read or take part in or do to advance and grow their business.
So there are some books. I think if people read a book called Think and Grow Rich, it's a fantastic way to just change your mindset about money. So much of this is just in your head. It's not that you don't have the tools. It's not that you don't have the skill or the knowledge. Because listen, most of the things that you want to, this was also great about the internet. First of all, the best resource is just the internet, period. Most of the things that you want to learn how to do, you can probably learn, if you spend enough time, learn how to do it for free on the web. If you want to learn how to edit video, then you get on YouTube, and there are a ton of just free resources. I don't exactly have the answer as to why people spend all of their time creating all this free information on YouTube, but guess what? It's there. Whatever you want to learn how to do, go spend some time and learn how to do that. And if that's what you need to get the confidence that's going to allow you to then go out and sell and do things and build and launch and create, then that's what you do. But you got to get out of your own head. And so I do like some of the books like Think and Grow Rich, the Millionaire Mind, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is awesome. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, you've got to read these things so that you deprogram your 20 years of people telling you, just go figure out how to be a great employee and then you'll live this great life. It just doesn't exactly work like that anymore. And so I just want people to get out of their head because all of the other stuff is just out there readily available.
Tell me where you're going. What's next for you?
That's an awesome question. I'm really working now on taking my knowledge, my expertise, my experience, and building products around those so that I can leverage my time better and help more people. So I'm gonna eventually launch a mastermind group that I'll invite, my podcast listeners and people who watch me on YouTube, whomever else needs a community of people to surround themselves with, to help them get where they want to be. Here, one of the other problems where people they find it difficult to be successful is that they know they don't have a support system very close to them that can help push them in that direction. So what happens is a lot of your closest friends and family tell you, why are you doing that? When you've got this great job. Why are you messing around with this YouTube stuff? Because they don't understand it. So the problem is you've got to surround yourself with people who are of like mind and who understand what you're going through.
Even if it costs, even if you have to get a coach or a training program?
Yes, because it's gonna slow it down. So instead of you going out and trying to find people and go navigate to a community where you know those people are, and if there's a small fee, sure, it's an investment in yourself. It's gonna help you get to where you wanna be. So Jim Rohn says that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Now, if those 5 people are constantly telling you, you can't do this, I don't think that's a good idea, why would you go and try that and mess up that's what you're going to start to believe. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with, if those 5 people are people that are doing what you want to be doing, what you aspire to be, who can help pull you up instead of drag you down, again, it's one of those situations where it's going to be difficult for you not to be successful if you're continuously getting that positive information. So I'm going to build a mastermind group. I'm going to distill a lot of the common financial advice that I give people, and I'm just going to launch an online program that people can take, that if they're serious about getting their money, their finances in order, I pretty much over my almost 10 years in this business know that if you do these 10 steps in this order, you'll be ready to go, and then you can go and do some other things, start a business, go back to school, have a better marriage, all of those sorts of things if you just take that. So I'm really trying to create products, services that can allow me to leverage my time better and ultimately help more people.
So this has been an awesome interview, and I thank you so very much. But I really want you to try and distill all of the great information that you gave to us and share with us one key thing that people can use to get turned up in their business.
It is ultimately about getting out of your own way and realizing that you do deserve to be successful. No one has any more right to success than you do. I mean, they were successful and that's awesome. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be as successful or more successful than they are. It's not a situation where you need somebody's permission to go do something anymore. You don't. The tools are out there. You want to be on HD video, go buy a camera. It's going to cost you a couple of $100. I mean, my theme is this. You just don't need anyone's permission anymore. There is no more gatekeeper to success. Okay? The tools are inexpensive. They're accessible. They're out there to you. You just have to build up your own level of confidence. And if you can do that, I don't want to sound cliche, and I haven't tried to just say, cliche things, but if you get out of your own way, you can truly do anything that you want to do. Now, maybe you can't go, beat LeBron James one-on-one. Okay, I get that. For most people, the things that they want to accomplish, the tools are there, the resources are there, the information is there. You can't no longer say, well, I'd love to do this, but I don't know how to do it. You can't make that excuse anymore. You can't do it. I'd love to connect with people, but I don't have a way to. You can't say that anymore. The excuses are gone. And it sucks for a lot of people because they were leaning on that and it made them feel a little bit better. But so now when the excuses are gone, what do? There's nothing left to do but take action. So get out of your own head, get out of your own way, be comfortable with failure, and just go do it.
Wow, tremendous words to live by. Again, I cannot tell you how important it is to continue to allow yourself to just stay at it. And Rob shared with us that really you don't need anybody's permission to be successful. You just need to get out of your own way, get out of your head, and go after whatever it is that you're dreaming about. I hope that you'll find everything that he shared today quite useful as you continue to build your businesses, go after your dreams, do whatever it is that you're passionate about. And if you want more information about Rob Wilson, you can get it right at our website. You can go to hustleandhearttv.com, search for Rob Wilson, go to his show notes page. There are links out to his website as well as some resources that he recommends and much, much more. Thank you so much for watching Hustle and Heart TV. We'll see you on the next episode.
Hello, my name is Sam Deep. The content of the Sam Deep Leadership Academy has helped major corporations develop emerging leaders from their staff of high potential employees for many years. So why would you be interested? Because the Academy will convince your internal departments to stop competing and start collaborating. It will create dramatic improvement in the quality of the service given to your customers. And it will equip you to find new ways to grow your bottom line. Your managers will find more time to focus on strategic goals. They'll more fully engage their followers and hold them strictly accountable for results. Your employees will gain something too. The leaders that they deserve and a rebirthed and more positive company culture that will unleash their productivity. More information appears here at developingyourleaders.com. So don't wait. Take advantage now of this opportunity to create better leaders for a brighter future.
Hey, this is Ray Higdon, and just in a few short years, I went from personal foreclosure to earning over $1 million a year. I look forward to showing you how in the next episode of Hustle and Heart TV.